Some mornings, doubt does not arrive like a thunderstorm. It slips in quietly, while you brush your teeth, while you answer messages, while you sit in a room that looks normal and feel one hard question tapping on the glass of your mind. What if I cannot believe the way other people seem to? That question can make you feel ashamed before you even say it out loud. You hear strong testimonies. You hear certain voices. You watch people speak as if faith has never trembled in their chest. And somewhere inside, you start to wonder whether your questions mean you are already outside the door. But John 20 gives us a man who did not hide his demand. Thomas said, "Unless I see in his hands the print of the nails, and put my finger into the print of the nails, and put my hand into his side, I will not believe." That is not polished. That is not religious. That is raw. And notice this, Scripture does not erase his words. It leaves them there, not to celebrate stubbornness and not to excuse unbelief, but to show you something about Jesus that you may have forgotten. Honest strugglers are not invisible to him. Thomas had heard the testimony of the others. "We have seen the Lord." But borrowed certainty was not enough for him. He could not live forever on somebody else's encounter. And if you are there right now, you need to know that Jesus is not asking you to pretend. He is not honored by fake agreement. He is not glorified by spiritual theater. Still, the passage does not flatter Thomas. Jesus does not say, "Thomas, your unbelief is wisdom." He does not call doubt a virtue. When he finally stands before him, he says, "Do not be unbelieving, but believing." That is tender. And it is sharp. In other words, Jesus meets Thomas where he is, but he does not leave him there. He comes near the wound in Thomas's faith, and then he calls him out of it. That matters, because there is a kind of doubt that is truly grief looking for light. And there is a kind of doubt that becomes a hiding place, where you never have to surrender, never have to trust, never have to kneel. Jesus knows the difference. He is not harsh with the wounded heart, but he will not let unbelief dress itself up as honesty forever. Listen to the scene. And after 8 days his disciples were again inside, and Thomas with them. Jesus came, the doors being shut, and stood in the midst, and said, "Peace to you." The doors were shut. Jesus was not. That may be the line your soul needs today. You may have shut every door you know how to shut. Door of disappointment, door of intellectual confusion, door of old church pain, door of secret sin, door of fear that if you look too closely, everything will collapse. And still, the risen Christ is not kept out by what you have locked. He comes into closed rooms. He comes into tense rooms. He comes into rooms where people are trying to breathe and failing. And his first word is not, "Explain yourself." His first word is, "Peace to you." Then he turns to Thomas, not vaguely, not generally, specifically. "Reach your finger here and look at my hands, and reach your hand here and put it into my side. Do not be unbelieving, but believing." Jesus knew every sentence Thomas had spoken when he was not visibly in the room. That should sober you and comfort you. Your private questions are not hidden from him. Your late-night arguments, your rehearsed objections, your exhausted sighs, your silent dare for God to show himself, none of it is lost on Christ. And what does Jesus present to Thomas? Not a philosophy, not a mood, wounds. He offers evidence marked in his own body. The resurrection does not erase the scars, it transforms their meaning. The hands once pierced are now proof. The side once opened is now testimony. The very place where death did its worst has become the place where faith can begin to breathe again. And Thomas answers with one of the clearest confessions in all of Scripture. My Lord and my God. Not, that was interesting. Not, I guess I was wrong. Not, this helps my spiritual journey. My Lord and my God. This is where Jesus was leading him all along, not only to accept a fact, but to bow before a person. Real faith is not just agreeing that something extraordinary happened. Real faith is entrusting yourself to the crucified and risen Son of God. Maybe that is where your doubt has been pressing you, not away from Christ, but toward a moment of decision about Christ. Because questions can circle for years without changing you. But sooner or later, every soul must answer him. Who is Jesus to you? A teacher you admire from a distance? A religious figure you keep on the shelf? A historical puzzle? Or can you say with Thomas, my Lord and my God? Then, Jesus says something for every generation after that room. Thomas, because you have seen me, you have believed. Blessed are those who have not seen and yet have believed. That is for you. Not because blind faith is noble, but because the risen Christ has given trustworthy testimony through his witnesses, through the Scriptures, through the gospel that has carried his voice across centuries. You have not touched the wounds with your hand, but you are not asked to believe with no reason. You are asked to trust the one who has made himself known. So no, doubt does not make you unreachable. It does not place you beyond the mercy of Christ, but it is not meant to be your home. Bring your questions into the light. Bring your skepticism honestly. Bring your fear without makeup. And when Jesus stands before you in the truth of his word, do not cling to unbelief as if it were safety. Let it go. Move from demand to surrender. Move from distance to confession. Move from saying, I need one more proof, to saying, my Lord and my God. Carry this with you today. Jesus is not frightened by your struggle, but he loves you too much to leave you in it. This is extreme faith. Until next time.